fam, the green room. What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday to every single one of y'all, man. GMS fam, the green room. Pull up, baby. Pull up, baby. How y'all feeling, man? Welcome back to another week of the GMS show. We are in here because we got some breaking news. Of course, I know y'all have already heard. I know y'all already have seen the headlines, but the diddler has struck again. Sean P. Diddler Combs has been arrested by the federales, and he is now awaiting his fate after they raided his home and found several things, questionable things at that did not just have to do with the things that have been surrounding his name in different lawsuits, but one of the biggest things that everybody's talking about is the amount of freak-off paraphernalia that was discovered on this man's property. Diddy had over 1,000 bottles of booty lube confiscated from his fortress. You may ask, why would a man need 1,000 bottles of booty lube? Well, I'll tell you why. Because when you are somebody that has what they like to call a freak off, you need as much booty lube as you can get just so you can survive all the poundings you will be taking in one sitting. Now, we all heard about the freak-offs. We all been hearing stories about Diddy, not just over this past year, but for several years. But a lot of it has been speculation. You know, a lot of people do believe that it could have been true. A lot of people was like, oh, nah, people just saying stuff. But now that we have evidence collected, and now that the man has been indicted himself, with 14 pages of documents talking about this indictment, it is now safe to say that Diddy is a monster. A sexual monster at that. Have you ever been scared of a sexual monster? Like, I know when we were kids, we were scared of the monster under the bed, or like, you know, you had to keep the closet closed. You thought someone was going to come out. But like a sexual monster? A nigga that'll crawl under the bed and grab you by your booty cheeks? Like, he not trying to kill you. He just trying to, like, put a finger in or something. You know what I'm saying? Like a sexual monster, that's more scary. I would rather have the boogeyman live in my closet than the diddler. It makes no sense. Now, we're going to get to those pages in a second. Shout out to Stiller Lee, man, showing up expeditiously in the chat. J.R. Miller is in here. Vale is in here. Luis Malone is in here. Shout out to y'all, man. Luis says, let me see what he said. What's good with you, fam? Yeah, hit the like button on the video, man. Hit the like button on the video. There's so many people talking about the Diddy controversy right now that I know a lot of motherfuckers ain't finna pull up today because they all over the place. But we gonna get to it today. Shout out to JR, man, putting that in the chat, man. Shout out to Vale. Good afternoon, family. Louis Malone said the indictment is probably the most open shut case I've seen. You are absolutely right. There's a shortage of lube in the U.S. because of the diddler. Yeah, I'll be surprised if anybody in the Miami area can find at least 2 bottles, at least 2 bottles of lubricant in any store, any store in the surrounding area. I'm pretty sure you got to go to Diddy for that. Diddy be over there, black market selling lube and shit out of his crib. Shout out Broderick Brown. He said, did anyone notice he never bought cases of air freshener? Them hotel rooms was funky as hell. Yeah. You got to at least keep a car, a little pine tree car air fresheners. You got to at least keep one of those. If I was a police officer investigating the freak off, I would have had that shit around my nose like Martin at National Security and shit. I wouldn't have took no chances. Shout out to Illmatic, man. All love, GMS fam. Oh, look. All lube, no condoms. Hell nah. DJ Too Loud said Diddy had all that lube and couldn't slip away from the fence. Hey, yo, nigga. And they found guns, extendo mags, serial numbers scratched off the weapons. Like, when you a billionaire, that only tells the feds one thing. If you got weapons in your house, if you got assault rifles in your house that got the serial numbers scratched off of them, it only tells the feds one thing: that you was out here causing hits. You was out here putting money on people's heads. You was really out here setting Kid Cudi car on fire, cuz this is crazy. Now, you know what else is crazy to me? Because I know there's going to be those conspiracy theorist individuals who say, oh, this is happening to Diddy because they're trying to distract us from something, or they're trying to protect somebody else, or they're doing this because he's a black man and he's this and that. Listen, man, I do want to say this. It is pretty odd to me. Now, this is not to neglect Diddy's part in this, because he clearly is an unhinged individual. But it is pretty odd to me that nobody else's names are being brought up as participants in the freak-offs. Like, a lot of these people that have these lawsuits is strictly to Diddy. It's not to anybody else. That's interesting to me, because usually a lot more people will come to the surface, or their names will be dropped in certain lawsuits. Like, yeah, they were a part of this, or they were complacent. This is like solely on Diddy. And it kind of tells me two things. Either the people that were involved were able to get themselves absolved from this, or to absolved, or whatever the word is, was able to pay their way out of this, or even, you know, exempt themselves from any wrongdoing. Or it could be that Diddy was so controlling and so, what's the word for it? He put so much pressure on everybody else around him, and he used his power to orchestrate these freak-offs with these people. But I know that there has to be more names involved. Like, at this point, Diddy, you're cooked. Just give the names up. Like, once you're indicted now, like, snitch, nigga. Like, be YSL Woody. Like, please snitch. Be 6ix9ine. Like, you got to put these niggas out here. You got to Frank Lucas the shit out of the organization. You got to call out everybody. Because I know there's some prominent white men involved in these freak-offs, because they some of the most freakiest niggas on the planet. And if Diddy was getting away with doing this for years, and people just knowing that this shit be going down, but ain't nothing happened from, you know, people was joining in because they felt comfortable. Like, oh yeah, you ain't getting caught. The police, you ain't getting no indictments. Oh yeah, we going to these Diddy freak-offs. Also, I did hear that depending on your status, as far as somebody who is online talking about this, they're going to be trying to suppress it. Diddy's legal team, anybody that is connected any way, shape, or form, is going to try to suppress anybody talking about this. If you're not a huge YouTuber, or if you're not somebody with a huge fan base, they're going to try to suppress. And even then, they're suppressing academics' views. They're suppressing all this shit because they're trying to play damage control. Let's see. Broderick Brown said, guarantee more names will come later. He gonna Nino Brown in court. I hope he does. I'm not even gonna lie. I really do hope he does. What's going on, Mystic Goddess? She said he's not telling because he don't want to be off. Yeah, you don't want to get Epstein, where they said this nigga just started hanging from a jail cell. Like, nah, somebody coming in there and they gonna get Diddy the fuck up out of here. Because they feel it coming. He was going to the beach. He was trying to get as much fresh air as he could before he went inside. That is somebody who valued his freedom. Anybody that know they about to get indicted and they know that they have all this stuff on their name and they still showing up in public, they said, I don't care about the public perception. I'm finna get locked up. I need to go to the beach. I need to try to be as rich as I can before I get locked up and lose everything. If I was Diddy, because you know it makes it. it does make sense to me why he couldn't like hide these items and these weapons and these drugs and shit like that, because they were watching him with a microscope. There was nothing that Diddy could do without the feds watching him. So if he transported anything, he was going to have a tail. If somebody that was around him that went into his house and walked out with boxes or bags or anything like that, they getting followed and they going to find it and they going to use it against him. So, I mean, I know he just had to come to peace with, hey, man, I'm cooked and there's nothing I could do about it. Everything that I do is going to be looked at by the feds by a microscope. He can't do shit about it. And he just had to go on bike rides, and he had to go to the beach, and he had to go and touch hands and butts with Stevie J to make sure that he could, find some type of peace, happiness, and solace before he went inside for being the sexual deviant monster that he is. Now, let's see what you said. Peace. What's going on? Subliminal Frequency. Hurricane JW. What's going on, fam? He said Diddy and R. Kelly about to do that free performance in the yard. Imagine Diddy in the yard talking about some take that. Niggas over there in the yard talking about, yeah, nigga, that's what we plan on doing later tonight. We gonna take that. Nasty Nate over there in the corner like, yeah, we gonna take it for real, nigga. Jay Porter said Gene Deal about to have a field day. Yeah, I mean, he already has been having a field day with this shit. He been talking about this shit for years. DJ Too Loud said, guess the freak offs are relocated to Rikers from now on. Holy moly. Jesus. All right, let's look at this, man. We're gonna look at this. So they, of course, TMZ posted it up. And they, speak on the situation, saying the Diddy indictment references what was seized during the raids at his homes in Beverly Hills and Miami. Various freak-off party supplies. Oh, that is such a crazy line. Like, imagine being indicted and you got you got documents. And in these documents, they reference freak-offs. Like, they have to be known as freak-offs now. Like, he's going to be known as the freak-off guy. It said, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. They also seized firearms, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers and a drum magazine. Let's get to this 14-page document, man. Can we get to this 14-page document? Let's get there, man, before they shut us down. We don't mean nothing on the scale of YouTube importance. So when it comes to this type of shit, they don't care to shut me down. As a matter of fact, they might try to demonetize me after this just because Diddy tried to snap his fingers, man. Even when you're in these situations, people like Diddy still have a level of power out here. You know what I'm saying? People still gonna jump for the money. What do you say? Oh, wow. Shout out to Golden Radio Hour for gifting 5 the GMS Show memberships to the crowd. Holy, thank you, Golden Radio Hour. That is special. That is awesome. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's right. We are monetized. If you want to go ahead and hit the super chats or become a member, you can. The buttons are below this video here. Also, a big way to support is by donating to the United Negro GMS Fund on Cash App. Do you hear me? Cash App is in the description. As a matter of fact, I can put it up right here, scrolling across the screen. If you guys want to show the GMS show some love, you can go ahead and donate to the Cash App that is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. All right, so here is the 14-page documents that we are about to go through for this whole entire racketeering conspiracy case. It says the United States of America. So it's them, the U.S. versus Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. PD, a.k.a. Love. Where's the a.k.a. Diddler? Where is the a.k.a. Diddler? We want that to be an official nickname. Diddy done had so many nicknames over the past, I don't know how many years. It ain't gonna hurt to have one more. You got to put the Diddler down there in the USA versus Sean Combs, man. We need the Diddler name in there. Now, we're going to go through these court documents, man. And if y'all got anything to say, please type it in the chat. We're going to post it up in this video, all right? DJ Too Loud said, evidence bags finna be stank and sticky. Oh, my Lord Jesus. All right, let's get into it, man. The grand jury charges. So, number one on this list, it says for decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, aka Love, the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees' resources and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Also, Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, the defendant operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global. Corporate entities in the Combs business included, among other things, record labels, blah, 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 blah. At all times relevant to this incident, the defendant engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and others acting as directed made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs locations. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence. Physical abuse by Sean Combs, the defendant, was recurrent and widely known on numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years. Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at them, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked and dragged and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave, aka that was Cassie, the video that everybody saw a few months back. Now, I'm not going to be here long today because I, in all honesty, forgot my damn laptop charger. And I'm at 20%. So we are going to make sure we get through this indictment. One thing I want to bring up, though, is Ryan Davis, comedian Ryan Davis, brought up Dawn Richards because she, or Dawn Richard, I think that's how you say her last name, she is the most recent individual to come up with a lawsuit towards Diddy and put him out there in a specific way and allege some things about him. Why I'm bringing this up is because, you know, Ryan Davis is somebody who looks at things in a very different way, and he makes a lot of sense with a lot of things he comes up with. His videos, this, I mean, it's the reason why he's become a lot, popular over the years on social media, because the way that he explains certain situations and brings a lot of logic and common sense to it. Now, the reason why he brought up Dawn Richard is because months ago he brought up, and this was at the top of the year, this was in January, he brought up the fact that Dawn Richard was around and she was trying to still be a part of Diddy's conglomerate, reaching out to Diddy several times, sharing messages on social media, showing her reaching out to Diddy so that she can be a part of the Danity Kane reboot, all types of stuff. Even in an interview saying that nothing has ever happened, or he's always been love and it's always been care and it's always been X, Y, and Z. A lot of these things that can be used against her through this lawsuit, which in Ryan's way of thinking about this situation, basically bringing up the fact that, well, if you were around and you saw these things happening, why didn't you speak up? Why are you just now going about talking about it, and not just talking about it, but now you're filing a lawsuit to get some wages out of it? Now, this isn't about victim blaming. This isn't about that. You know, we support the victims in this situation, but I will not put it past anybody to come up with a lawsuit to drain Diddy out of his funds before it's too late and he ain't got nothing else. And a lot of these artists out here are starving, and not just starving for money, but starving for attention, starving for whatever the case may be. Now, I don't know Don's situation, but she did put in that lawsuit that she filed against Diddy that she witnessed abuse by the hands of Diddy towards other people, but previously wasn't saying anything about it. Now, we're not going to say that she's lying. All I'm going to say is we wish that you could have spoke up beforehand. That's all I'm saying. We wish. But see, that's a tricky situation in itself because this nigga Diddy got AR-15s with scratched off serial numbers. So you also can't blame nobody for being terrified for not saying anything. If you knew that your life, and that's the thing, over the years, it seemed like Diddy was getting away with a lot. And if you're in the industry and you're somebody who is like, oh, clearly we see Diddy getting away with shit, why would I want to go against that? Why would I want to put myself in harm's way? Why would I want to put myself in danger by telling on a man that clearly can't get in trouble or isn't going to be investigated or nothing's going to happen from it? So I like to give grace on both ends, but at the same time, if you haven't seen that video that Ryan posted, I suggest you go watch it. We're not going to get through the entire 14 pages, but we are going to get to some of the things that they found inside of the house. Let's see, where is it at? Let's see. Oh, it says Sean Combs, the defendant, and others known and unknown participated in unlawful and other activities related to the conduct of the Combs Enterprises affairs. These individuals included certain Combs business employees, such as members of Combs security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, as well as other close associates of Combs. They finna get a lot of these niggas out the way. Let's see, man. There's a lot of ABCDs in this. There's a lot of ABCs in this. I want to find where are the 1,000 bottles of lubricant. So I want to see. Okay, all right. We'll talk about the racketeering real quick. From at least in or around or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this incident in the Southern District of New York, and elsewhere, Sean Combs, the defendant, and others known and unknown being persons employed by and associated with the Combs Enterprise described in paragraphs 6 through 12 of this indictment, and enterprise engaged in and activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly combined, conspired, confederated and agreed together and with each other to violate the racketeering laws of the United States, to wit, Title 18 United States Code, blah, blah, blah. That is to conduct and participate directly and indirectly in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs Enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, as that term is defined in Title 18. They are talking about multiple acts of bribery. So this is another thing that they got Diddy on, that he was just, just so stupid with. I can't believe he actually went through with this. But during this time, like I said, Diddy was, he was probably scrambling, trying to figure out what he can do to try to save his name. And one thing that he was doing that they found out was that he was contacting old freak off attendees and trying to smooth out whatever issues they may have had with him. He was trying to make sure that he'll let them know, hey, I can take care of you if you just, you know what I'm saying? Because you consented to this. Like, you wanted to do this. You wanted to be a part of the freak off. I saw you. Like, you told me to put the lube directly in your butthole. Like, why are you trying to be a part of this lawsuit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Diddy probably thinking about all the past freak offs he ever had. He's probably sitting there like, man, this bitch right here, she was all, man, this nigga over here, and this big black dick motherfucker over here. like Diddy was probably on it like, man, I gotta try to smooth this out, or else I'm gonna have hundreds and hundreds of lawsuits on my hand. Multiple acts involving bribery chargeable under the following provisions of the law: California Penal Code. This is just multiple acts of indictable, multiple acts. All these multiple acts, like A, B, C, and D, multiple acts, fam. So let's read the counts. The first count was racketeering. Second count is sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Oh my God. Subtle assets provision. If any of the above described forfeitable property as a result of any of blah, blah, cannot be located, has been transferred or sold to. Oh yeah, they going for everything. They're going for everything. They are about to clean Diddy out, and not in the way that he wants to, not in the freak off way. They finna clean that man's assets, bank accounts, all of that. And you know what one thing I didn't like about this whole thing was how his kids were trying to act. Well, not his kids, but I know, like, you know, the young one, the one that looked just like him, the one that be dancing like him and shit, Christian or King Combs, whatever you want to call him. He was trying to act like there was no problems at all. And this is another thing, when you do a lot of the freaky shit that you do behind closed doors or whatever the case may be, please believe that when you have kids, it's always going to come back to them some way, shape, or form, especially when you're in the public eye. And I think that's something Diddy didn't think about, and it's something that his kids didn't actually fully know about. They probably thought their dad was like, you know, a partier and he was a freaky nigga, but they probably had no idea that he was doing the type of shit that he was doing. And ultimately, it's going to affect them as well. They thought that, you know, oh man, people just exaggerating, and probably Diddy, the way that he was lying over the years, probably was telling them it's not what y'all think, man. It's not as crazy as y'all think, man. They just putting 100 on 10. Well, you better hope they don't read these indictment papers, man. Because I'll tell you one thing, ain't nothing like finding out your parent is a fucking psycho. Ain't nothing like it. Or a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? You probably still love him, but you probably just feel so different about him and feel so out of place about him that you don't know how to react. Now, I do want to bring this up real quick before we get out of here. This brought me back to what Kraig did on the 5150 show. So y'all remember around the time when the video came out of Diddy dragging Cassie and beating her senselessly inside of a hotel room, around that time, there was a lady who revealed that she was friends with Diddy's ex, Diddy's baby mom. Somebody help me with her name, man. Help me with her name. I don't know why I just forgot her. Kim Porter. Sorry, Kim Porter. And yeah, no bail. They're talking about having no bail. There actually is a whole thing right now. They just drew up papers to explain why they don't want bail for Diddy. It's not just about the free costs, but they believe that he is extremely dangerous. You can't find 3 AR-15s with the serial numbers scratched off the side of them and think that this guy is going to be not a danger to society in some type of way. He must be doing something. If they got Young Thug locked up for this long and they don't actually have definitive proof that Thug was involved in some shit, what you think they're gonna do with Diddy when they actually find the weapons in his crib? But yeah, Kraig brought this up, and it was during the time Cassie, the video came out, and I just want to play what he said, and let's talk about it for just a second before we move on.
What do you mean?
Go ahead.
Hey man,
Cassie, you wasn't here, so I want him to.
Ain't nobody got the courage to stick up for Puff. I do.
What do you mean?
Go ahead.
Hey man,
Cassie, you wasn't here, so I want him to hear this.
Cassie ain't the bitch y'all think she is. I always say this, man. Domestic violence is not always abuse, because some bitches like to fight. Cassie is the same woman that would go to Puff Daddy's house while Kim Porter was alive and watch Puffy beat on Kim, cuss Kim out, abuse Kim, and laugh at Kim. checking him out, and it's documented that they say Cassie used to be torturing Kim with Puff. She is not his victim. His date.
Now, the reason why I brought this up is because his source, and we spoke about this before, his source was basically a fucking pen pal. It wasn't even somebody who was actually around Kim and Diddy during their relationship. Now, I do want to say that it is not confirmed or denied that this was going on. The thing about it is the source was a alleged friend of Kim's, but only somebody that spoke to Kim via messages, emails, not somebody that was there who participated. The messed up thing about it is because part of what he's saying is right in the sense of a broader scale. But when it comes to this specific situation, when it comes to Diddy and what he did to Cassie, I cannot agree in that sense. I cannot agree with that statement, because although all women aren't victims, because there are women out here who do like to fight and women who be out here trying to abuse men or abuse women, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of what the case may be, I don't believe this is one of those instances. I don't believe that's one of those instances at all. You said audio. What's up with the audio? Are we good? Y'all can y'all hear me? Check. Can y'all hear me? We good? Y'all said the audio messed up. Probably because my computer trying to die. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, we good. But like I'm saying, I can't agree with that statement. And most of the reason is because the source of it. The source was somebody who did not witness these things. They were just being told these things allegedly by Kim, because also we don't have those messages either. There was no messages or no screenshots or no anything of the emails or anything like that from Kim by this person. This person was just giving you a story. Now, regardless if it's true or not, I think the fact that there is no proof presented or anything of the sort, then we can't just say it as a matter of fact. It would have been different if he would have been like, well, we're hearing certain things like that. But going in on that situation as if it is facts, like you know it is facts, it caused a lot of backlash for Kraig. And I'm sure Kraig lost a few opportunities due to that, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, that's what happens when you speak on certain things as a matter of fact without definitive proof when it comes to something so serious. It's one thing when you're on the internet and you watching people and you reacting to certain things, you coming up with scenarios or opinions on something. But when you start bringing up sources or start bringing up, oh, so-and-so said this, you're going to have to prove it. You're going to have to prove it, man. And that was not a good look, especially after now of what we see that Diddy did to Cassie and to other people. Now that this indictment is happening, it's just, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Now, one thing I'm gonna do before we get out of here, I'm gonna go to this real quick. RIP, man, to a legend, man. Tito Jackson passed away on the legendary Jackson 5, man. Everybody in the chat put a RIP. Tito Jackson, man. Tito was one of the realest niggas of all time. If y'all don't know, real Gary nigga, real stand-up nigga, real OG, real legend. You know, all the brothers are legends, man. All of them. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. And we appreciate it, man. So put a RIP to the legend, man, Tito Jackson in the chat. Put it in there. Pause. No diddler. I know that shit was probably said so much during the freak offs. Put it in there. Put it in there. Let me stop, man. I'm clowning, man. I'm clowning. Don't worry about me. I'm stupid. All right, y'all. Also, a couple more things before I get out of here. They tried to get Donnie up out of here one more last time. They tried to send Donald to the gulag. Somebody tried to send Donald to the gulag once again. He was out golfing in Florida, and somebody pulled up and tried to off that man with an assault rifle. This is the second attempt on Trump's life. And honestly, I just want to say, if you go on a national platform and start talking about a bunch of Haitians being horrible, dog-eating, cat-eating people, and then you pull up to Florida, please believe that one of them niggas going to be crazy enough to take your head off. At least try. You know what I'm saying? The feds going to try. Yeah, you see that? You see that? The feds is tampering with my sound. They don't want me talking about this Diddy stuff. That's why I'm about to get out of here, man, because they be messing with me, man. They be trying to get at me, and I don't like that. I don't like it not one bit. That's why we ain't finna do nothing. Also, I just want to say, it's crazy that Elon Musk is out here basically calling for the assassination of Biden and Harris. If you didn't see it, he tweeted out. He tweeted that why is nobody, or basically asking why nobody is trying to assassinate Trump or assassinate Biden or Harris. Listen, man, Elon has drank the juice of the far right, and it is showing every single day on his platform. He looks like a kook. He looks like a crazy bastard. And it's somebody that shouldn't be running a whole entire platform, one of the most popular platforms, and using its algorithms to push certain narratives that are dangerous. Now, if somebody come out here and try to do something to Kamala, or somebody come out here and try to do something to Biden, he knows that tweet, because of his influence and because he owns that platform, and because it was seen by millions of people, that it can be easily blamed on him for an attempt or a successful assassination on one of these presidents. He's misusing his power to cause dangerous and harmful rhetoric and narratives. And if something happens, blame it on that nigga. Also, you can't use your Asperger's to get out of this one, Elon. You know what you're doing. You build spaceships, nigga. Asperger's ain't got shit to do with that. You a weirdo. All right, GMS fam, the green room. Sorry, we got to cut this short today, man. I will be back again tomorrow. As y'all know, we're going to be back in here reviewing some things. So make sure y'all pull up expeditiously. I mess with y'all. I appreciate y'all. GMS fam, the green room. Put a GMS in the chat right now. We about to get up out of here. One love to every single one of y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. GMS fam, the green room. Let's get it. Where my music at? Where my music at, you little bastard? Play my music, you bastard. Not playing my damn music. Where you at? Hey, there we go. There we go. As you can tell, my computer's dying. So I got to get out of here. One love, GMS fam. We out.